Yeah, look
there
at
it
that.
goes. All right. Hey, I've only had this thing for a year.
And how much time is it spend in the shop in that year?
Yeah, right.
6 months.
Okay, like I said, I don't know if we're going to publish this or not, but if I do, everybody out there be warned, we do curse. So parental guidance advisory.
Like a newborn sailor.
And
Yeah,
we will be dealing with
we get a
violence
little blue. Yes.
probably at some point. However, we're going to try and keep it from becoming pornographic. Any sex scenes will happen off camera.
Well, I'm exploring.
Well, okay, visually, yes, but
I'm exploring. You never know.
Yeah. Well,
anything
considering
beyond that,
this is a sci-fi game, and our characters are a bug, a tree, and the one human. So
I may explore, or I may be like oh god, what's her name in Farscape? It's photogasms.
Oh, yeah, Zan.
Yeah, I mean, I get a photogasm. I mean, I am in a sunny desert.
All right, so
you are a big weeping willow tree. I mean, duh.
So to explain briefly to everyone, this is a homebrew sci-fi campaign using Savage Worlds and GURPS equipment. I'm the game master. These are our players. One just walked off.
She'll be back.
This is Lance playing Cheetoe, who is a species called a Chikrahdraxah, which is like a cockroach. It's about that big. This is Leah playing Vasha, a sapient tree-like species. She looks like about a 9-foot-tall, skinny willow tree with eyes. And this is Melanie playing Lilly. Hello. The actual human in our crew. So.
Poor thing.
Apparently the only one. Oh.
Yeah, humans are not a big deal in the galaxy yet.
Yeah, I love a challenge.
You kind of know of them, but they're just kind of this backwater sort of species.
Wow, they actually made it out this far. They haven't killed each other yet.
Well, give it time.
Backwater.
Yet.
What's really funny is backwater sort of species, and apparently I'm supposed to take offense to that, but no, backwater kind of species.
Earth is just sort of kind of far from most of the centers of civilization in the galaxy.
Dude, I grew up in the swamp.
There
Seriously,
you go.
I take no offense. None whatsoever.
Like I said, so as we left, you guys had all gotten hired by Dr. Mataulaellerala, an Allounalla female scientist amateur archaeologist, who had a theory about this one extinct race called the Iconot, which went extinct about 25,000 years ago. And she had this crazy theory about how they got a lot farther into the galaxy than anybody else had suspected before they all were wiped out mysteriously. So she discovered what she thinks is the wreckage of a last generation Iconot deep space explorer ship on this frontier planet.
Samplers with the dark chocolate.
But nobody else would back her expedition, so she funded it herself and hired you guys to help. So from the Alliance core worlds, you took a sleeper ship, and then a cargo ship, and eventually you got to the frontier planet of Jotunn 4, which, as I said, is a ranching planet where they raise ombrats, space cows, basically. And the planet's kind of deserty looking, but it's not totally dry. As I said before, it has two seasons, sand and mud. So in sand season, you get a lot of sand and dust storms, and in mud season, it rains wet dirt. Yeah, just a lovely planet.
Sounds like fun.
But it's actually turned out pretty good for the ranching, because a lot of the funguses and lichens and stuff that grow here are pretty good for the ombrat. And they don't mind that the planet has a low oxygen content. So, well, last time you arrived on the planet, you did notice, or you all decided, that since this is a frontier world, which is, the law is a little shaky, and the cops are most often owned by, the rich ranchers or oxygen merchants on this planet. So you kind of made a cover story of looking for this mythological creature pretending to be what's the word?
Crazy?
Well, that too. No, there's actually a term for it. Like people that look for Bigfoot, Ness Monster. No, cryptobiologist.
Yeah.
So pretending to be a cryptobiologist looking for this mythical creature called mud paddle, which is kind of like this planet's version of like Loch Ness or a jackalope or
We
something.
passed around the story that our financier is looking for this thing, and we're just in the cash.
Yeah, because you didn't want the locals getting wind of the fact that you might be onto a very significant archaeological find that could prove to be quite valuable and shake up the historical community. Like I said, it would be like finding a Polynesian outrigger canoe in the Falkland Islands. It's a little weird. So, you got all your supplies, and you loaded up the Benny Wago, your hover vehicle, which I did remember to bring that because I threw it in my bag, so we'll use this for the Benny Wago.
I'm sure it blends very well with those colors in the desert environment.
Yeah, well, yes, the whole planet's kind of brown and gray with patches of oddly colored fungus.
I actually saw today in real life a coffee brown old school Volkswagen Beetle, a little coffee bean.
Oh, that's cool.
It was really just a little latte bean. It was just down the road.
So you got everything loaded up and you head out. As I said, even in your hover vehicle, it's going to take you about a day to get out to the site because it's way far away in the northern Badlands. And even though you're doing, well over 100 miles an hour in this thing.
Boy, the tires must really...
It's a hover vehicle. So
you must go for tires.
Yeah. As you head out of the city of Lone Steed, this planet's one settlement.
Or you can say it, one horse town. Come
Yes.
on, you named it Lone Steed.
The town's name is Lone Steed. It is literally a one-horse town.
Go on now.
But 10 stoplights.
Yes, 10 stoplights. As you head out of the town, it goes by pretty quickly. It has, like I said, a small downtown area.
More stoplights than the city I grew up in.
Yeah, well,
They just got their second in like the last 5 years.
Actually,
not even joking.
Depending on, since you haven't really decided on which faction your character came from, if you grew up in one of the little kind of colonies, there may have been like hardly any cars. It could have just all been like, trams and slide walks.
I think she's talking IRL, dude.
I know. I'm saying she could use that for her character if you were from one of these little colonies.
I know. I'm just.
Yes, I'm not completely dense. I'm only mostly dense.
I know. We love you for it.
So anyways.
Yeah, I still have to.
So as you head out, the city thins out pretty quickly. Turns into like smaller buildings and kind of, these kind of drab prefab industrial or native kind of mud adobe type things. The one thing you think is kind of funny as you're leaving, as you get to the outskirts of the city, is you see there's a big honking dome under construction over in this one kind of hilly area.
Oh, are they trying to get sciencey?
Well, like I said, you see this big dome under construction, and there's actually a big holographic billboard out front of it that has a repeating scene.
That costs more than anything else on this planet?
It has a repeating scene on it of suburbia, basically. These kind of, these like cookie cutter sort of non-species specific homes with little winding streets and green lawns and a little cutesy shopping district and all that. And the caption reads, "Fresh Air Estates, coming soon."
Oh dear.
Kind of like in the Minion movie. Coming soon. The picture, like the picture of Orlando.
Yeah.
And then, like, as the year it's a billboard, is this coming soon?
Yeah. So, somebody's actually trying to build a little suburb out here.
Oh, nice. What are the ones you don't like?
After that, it thins out pretty quickly, and you just see a few low industrial, kind of ugly-looking buildings, and then you get into the open countryside. So you're zipping along, and after a while, driving on the road, or actually there's not really a road, there's just sort of a, now you're away from the city's traffic grid, you can kind of go wherever you want.
Well, I can't have the peanuts.
But around about lunchtime or so, as
It's not that I
you're
don't
zipping
like them.
along,
I can't actually eat them.
you guys notice on the horizon ahead of you, there's a massive dust cloud coming up on the horizon. And as you get closer to it, you actually spot there's a drone zips past your vehicle. And a moment later, Lilly gets a ping on her comm. Just as she walks away. Just as she walks.
I have to wash my hands and like wash out my face.
But she's irreverent like that.
Yeah. Classic Lilly. Hey, you have something to do later.
Well, I just ate some of that like maple tofu and tapping it. I don't know, it's all stuck in my teeth.
Right?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a ping on your comms because you're driving, obviously. And you see, a voice comes over. It says, northbound vehicle, this is Dusty Slim. Please come back, over.
Come back where?
What, come back to what? Slim? Okay.
It's radio chatter. Come back means answer. Come.
Again, answer to Slim Dick? No, okay.
Dusty Slim. That's what he's calling himself.
Again, okay, hi.
So you
Well, Mom.
well, you ping back, hello, whatever. He's like, he comes back at you. He's like, we got a head of about 20,000 over here. I'm gonna have to ask you to increase your elevation to a minimum of 30 meters and maintain course and speed.
Okay.
All right, so you squeeze
I don't
the.
see a reason to say why not, but okay.
Oh yeah, you squeeze the altitude and take it up a bit. These things can go pretty high. It's just a question of the higher you go, the more unstable it becomes because it's not really aerodynamic.
Well, yeah, this is about as far as I'm gonna go.
Yeah, so you, like I said, you squeeze it up, and sure as
Far
hell,
as you can go.
for a few minutes there, like the entire ground is just covered by this herd of Ombrot moving along. And you actually see some of the drovers. In fact, you're pretty sure that one over there is Dusty. They're riding. Well, they're riding hover bikes, and they've also got drones helping them out.
He's dirty and skinnier than the rest of them.
Well, he's called Dusty Slim because he's got two heads. So one of them is Dusty, the other is Slim.
Nice.
And one of the heads tips their hat at you as you guys sail past.
Did he sell a hundred gold?
Huh?
Did he sell?
No. No, he's just a two-headed species.
But he is an Umbra boy.
Yeah, they're cowboys or Umbra boys or whatever you want to call them.
He's a real cowboy. He's sleeping with his eyes open.
Well, at least three.
Yeah,
of them.
and I'm not Clint Eastwood, so can we like?
Like I said, so you guys zip past that, and funny thing to you is that actually watching all these creatures moving by kind of reminds you, in a weird way, of home. Because you're sitting there thinking, that's kind of funny how these like mammal-type creatures herd these other mammal-type creatures, sort of the way we herd the forests on our home world.
I was gonna say we don't move a whole lot on my world.
No, you move a lot, just not very fast. Just not. Remember, everything on your planet basically moves. The whole forest moves. So let me see here.
How big is that?
Huh?
How big is that?
Well, it's 50 pounds, so I guess he's about a bigger size.
He's about your size, but just taller.
It's big enough that it can get into like some ductwork and stuff like that. Yeah.
Well, I'm 18 pounds and it's 50 pounds, so.
It's bigger than you.
Yeah, it's almost 3 times bigger than me.
But yeah, it's basically just it's a walking toolbox with some arms and stuff. It's,
Like 2.5 times my size.
The one with
yes,
the
you can ride it easily.
What's the one invader from World of Worlds? It does.
Oh yeah. By the way, I pulled a dumbass and forgot our figures, so I had to make these little paper ones real quick when I got here.
Because his cute little drawing, see?
Just had to make them very quickly.
4 legs and likes to dance.
This is my little mule.
It's your little pony.
My little pony, my little pony. And supposedly this is a 9-foot tall, 300-pound willow tree. I think it looks like Sheriff.
And this is a 1 foot long Chikrahdraxah, which looks like a cockroach. I think it looks like Cher.
I control my time.
No. The Chikrahdraxah seems I got you big.
Right, yes, of course. Alrighty. Did she leave to go smoke or something?
Yeah, probably. She does that.
Alright, so I'm going to try something called an interlude here. This is a feature that Savage
I don't
Worlds
want to
has.
date.
This is a feature that Savage Worlds has. Basically, if you're able to do this, you can get extra bennies out of it. So, you guys,
It
like I
keeps
said,
getting better. I can think of the guy in the first Mummy movie.
oh, Benny, the character for the
Yeah, I playing in all those different tones trying to get away from the Mummy.
I think
Yeah, Benny,
the cab driver
benefits.
from Total Recall.
Yes, I didn't really. I saw the newer version of that. I only lived one, so I didn't really see
I don't
it.
remember that was the cab driver's name. Every time you say Benny, I think of a freaking robot cab driver.
That was a Johnny Cab.
What was the Benny? What was the freaking cab
Was
driver?
the cab driver's name Benny? I don't remember.
That one was Johnny Cab. But I think, I don't know. You said Benny.
The one mutant with the
Yeah.
arm that turned out to be a traitor? Yeah, I think his name was Benny. Yeah.
You said
Like,
Benny.
screw
the
you,
first-
Benny, or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
The first thing I thought of was a freaking cab driver.
hey, man, I got 5 kids to feed.
But you said you had 4 kids.
Oh, you got me. Okay, so as the shortly after passing the Umbra herd, later in the day, you actually come to one of this planet's narrow green oceans.
Biology. Can I take a sample?
If you want to stop, yeah.
I'm a scientist. Of course I want to stop.
Yeah. So yeah, you basically just like, hang on, stop, lower us down, get a scoop.
Big break. Fill a vial.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, this planet has no moon, so the oceans don't move much. So it's this kind of slowly, gently rolling green
Algae.
kind of sea. And yes, there's lots of algae and other
Cousin.
crunchy bits floating in the ocean, floating in the water. But you guys zip right across it. And once you get to the other side,
Jetsons.
early in the evening, you start approaching the northern Badlands. The northern Badlands, as I was saying before, they are a rocky, hilly area full of canyons and various rock formations, like mesas and columns and all that. And if you were stuck on the ground, it actually would become kind of a twisty maze because all the seasonal flooding and all that just wreaks havoc on the landscape, especially up here it seems.
No matter what the world, nothing good ever happens in the Badlands.
That's why they're called the Badlands.
I suppose unless you're an outlaw in the Badlands, it wouldn't be so bad.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you could be on a freaking ocean world. They call them the Badlands, and there'd still be rocks and crevices and
Bad waters.
the bad water. Why do they call them the bad waters? Well, you see, there's lots of rocks and
The water,
crevices.
there's lots of rocks and crevices, and the water is very spooky. Don't go in there. It's full of spooky things. Let's see. So, however, there is now this gets a little trickier to navigate because, like I said, this hover Winnebago thing doesn't handle altitude real well. So you have to still kind of try to take it through the canyons a bit. If at some point you actually need to like jump over something, like you have to really kind of squeeze the anti-gravs.
Our pilot has gone on autopilot, so I'm hoping she's as talented as she thinks she is.
Like I said, since you're not in a hurry, you're not being chased by anything. It's just a matter of patience. So and kind of figuring out a route through the place. One of the big things.
Yeah. How long will that take?
One of the big things though you've noticed about this is that this planet doesn't have a lot of satellite coverage. It's mostly got like the one space station where you guys checked in. Unfortunately, you are over the horizon from that space station now, so you can't see it in the sky.
We have less than 4G.
So yeah, you're actually not getting a live satellite feed of the area right now. You're just kind of relying on maps. And as I said, even communications is a little spotty out here.
No streaming movies.
But you get about to the area.
I wanted to watch Cars 1400.
You get about to the area where you were looking for, and you all said this one little box canyon sort of offshoot to one of the main canyons between some of these rocky hilltop areas, but there's still a lot of flat area on the top of the canyons. But as you come up to it, and you're approaching it from the top by this point, you do notice, well, at least this planet has one charm to it, because as the star, as the star of Jotun is setting in the west, which I said is a medium red star, so the sunset is just amazing right now. There's this huge red disk of a sun melting into the far western horizon, and the whole sky is just turning, blazing gold and red and orange, chased by violet.
Can I record this for record?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm recording this for record then.
And like the whole sky is just an amazing blaze of orange and gold and red, and chased by purples and deep blues, and so it's like, wow, yeah, okay, this planet has a really nice sunset.
Can I sleep through it?
Yeah, you don't care.
Just a second. Ooh, I'm gonna record this. Leave me alone. Go away.
So Lilly, noses the Benewago, over the edge of the canyon and settles it down. Now, you had said that you were picking up some basic geological and meteorological tools. Not a full kit, but you got just some tools. Like you went to the science center and picked up a few things, or whatever.
I went to the store that said archaeologist welcome here.
So as you settle down in this box canyon, and I said the box, it's a dead end canyon. It'll go and link up to the main canyon, but where you're at is the dead end. It's like a cul-de-sac, if you will.
You call it a cul-de-sac, not a dead end. It's just ominous. We're the Badlands, you're calling stuff dead ends, dude.
Yeah. There's a skull on a stick, says beware.
Skull on a stick, says no exit.
No way out.
If it's a cul-de-sac, where are the cute cookie cutter houses?
Yeah.
Where's the Stepford Wives?
So you settle down in the area you were looking for, and looks like there may have been another flood because the valley floor seems to have shifted around a little bit with mud and silt and what have you. That's the old photograph
It's
that
not
she
the
had.
worms, is it?
The worms?
The worms?
No.
It's not worm sign, right?
Well, like I said, the highest evolved native animal life on this planet is basically worms.
Yeah, but it's not worm.
As far as you know, the biggest native animal on this planet is like maybe a worm, like a cicada.
Okay, that's right.
No, there are no sandworms on this planet.
Okay, yeah. There's a little Shialood, you know. Come on now.
Unless you believe in mud paddle. Mud paddle is like it's kind of like a plesiosaur, the worm thing that's supposed to swim through the swampy areas in the planet.
I want to find him because
I
apparently
will
he's like
face
that
my fear.
big, and I fit right on him, and I could do the whole June thing.
Yeah.
Like I said, I will face my fear.
So you guys touch down, and
Yay!
You've done your
the
job.
doctor rechecks her notes
You
and
wouldn't have to
everything,
be here.
and she's like, "Well, okay, this is the place."
I don't know if that's good thing
so-
or bad thing.
Now is the time. Ours is the hour.
So according to this, that bit of metal wreckage that I saw on the photos should be about over there where that dried up mudslide is.
I really didn't make it. So there's something where I could get a closer look at that. I actually walk
Yeah,
across.
you've got multispectral goggles, I believe. They also act like
Do you want
binoculars.
the charger?
Okay, so I look through my goggles to see what I can see.
You want to actually try to do a study of this canyon?
No, right now I'm just looking for the foreign object in the sand.
No, you don't. You just see a mudslide. It's like I said. Apparently, you guys just missed the mud season, so
There is a goblin.
yeah. But like in addition to like the mud and rock and sand, and all, there are on this planet there's like patches of fungus and stuff all over the place too.
Well, anytime I see any type of native life form, I'm going to want to do a sample.
Yeah, so yeah, you can make a pretty good collection of like mushrooms,
Samples for
mold,
study
like
later,
various squirming invertebrates and stuff like that.
Yeah, anytime a native
So we're
living
here?
species is found,
Yeah.
I take a sample.
Security drones up in the air
Okay, so you're popping the security drones.
and finding a secure spot to put down the
Pistola.
rifle thing.
Okay, so remember, you are in a box canyon, a cul-de-sac, if you will, canyon. The walls of this canyon are about like 5 or 6 story high. The rock it's kind of loose in places, so climbing it would be a little tricky because you never know when you might hit a loose spot in the walls or whatever.
You've got more feet.
I'm just saying, it's not solid. It's a little shifty. And of course, as I said, the bottom of this canyon is just,
Well, so I see. He's a little bit shifty.
yes. The bottom of this canyon is, various, it'll flood, it'll wash a bunch of stuff out, then it'll deposit more stuff, and so it's just all shifting, silty, muddy sand. In fact, actually, since you're just at the end of the mud season, there is still a small trickle of water right through the middle of the valley.
I was going to say, what's the weather forecast for the next couple of days? Because I don't want to be flooded.
No, you missed. Mud season's over. It's winding up. There is a chance maybe it might rain again. Might get a small flash flood. Yeah. But
I'm small.
they're like for the next couple of weeks or so. There's like maybe a 15% chance of rain.
A 2-foot flood.
And then after
could
that,
wash me away.
like I said, for like the next couple of weeks, there's like a 15% chance of rain or so. And then after that, the sandstorms start. So you got a particular. You want to keep the drones in the canyon, or you want them to like swing up around the top? Because they fly. They're little floater drones.
Well, I want to be able to see what's coming from the dead end. So at least one,
You could have like one circle
I need
around
one higher so I can see if there's anything coming across the Yeah.
So you want one like
Because,
to kind of do a patrol, sort of.
Little hover cars can, go across the, 5-story drop and not kind of.
Yeah.
So I
No,
do need to keep.
these are just spotter drones. They have no weapons on them. They're about yay big.
But I just need to, I
well,
just basically want 360, just a warning.
So kind of keep one near to the camp, just skirting the top of the canyon,
Yeah.
and then have the other one go way the fuck up high to get like a bird's eye view.
Yeah.
All right, that works. So you guys start setting up the camp. You pop your habitation domes. You just pull the crates off the top of the Vanawago, set them up, hopefully somewhere that's highest above where mud and water might be going. And it's pretty much just push the button and the whole thing just kind of unfolds and assembles itself. The doctor also did think to bring extra like lamps, floodlights, and extension cords and stuff like that. And then who wants to bust out the exosuit and start digging?
You're the pilot.
Yeah, I guess I don't have a goddamn choice, do I?
Yeah, that's why I asked you if you want to do it.
Why? Because you're gonna? Yeah, okay.
I'm almost as good a pilot as you are.
No, you're not.
No, she has the ace advantage, so she's bonuses.
So, I'm gonna do all these?
No, you don't need to roll anything yet. Like I said, just so we know who's where doing what. So basically, you're working kind of hand in hand with Dr. Maladimos right now because she's telling you, all right, I need you to dig along this way and yada yada, because it should be right under here. In fact, she starts popping out her archaeology toolkit and starts like doing a little thing where you can kind of like get a radar picture of the underground. Let's see that. Oh, that's a 10. Oh, damn. That's like a crit success.
Hey, go speak for the tree or not the Lorax.
It's a 13. Okay, so yeah. Like I said, she pops out her little archaeology kit, does the whole ground x-ray thing, and she's like, bingo, right there.
Well, dude.
Yeah, large metal object buried here.
Like I said, don't speak for the tree or not the Lorax.
I should. Not Cheetoe.
Roll your. Well, she's doing that. You're kind of doing a whole survey of the valley thing. So, you have a science skill. Now, specifically, you have xenoanthropology and biology.
I have archaeology too.
This is more of a geology thing. So, I'm going to need you to roll your science skill, which is a D8. You just don't get bonuses because this isn't one of your specialties. So, a D8 and a D6. That's a D10.
I'm so sorry. Mr. Gertz is all sixes.
So 5. Okay, that's enough for a success.
A pass.
So you're doing a geological kind of survey of this place, and you do hit upon one interesting fact, which not really surprising but interesting. This little canyon, side canyon you guys are in, it doesn't really match up with like the rain erosion patterns of the rest of the canyons and all that. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, this canyon was apparently formed by an impact. Yeah, an impact about 25,000 years ago. Something basically plowed right into the side of the main canyon, dug this side canyon, and then after 25,000 years of sand season, mud season, sand season, mud season, it kind of blended it in a bit so that it looked more natural at first glance until somebody with know-how and tools actually got down here and looked around. I mean, as far as you guys know, you might be the first sapiens to set foot in this canyon since the crash, you know?
No, we're not even sure they set foot in
Dawn
this
Time
canyon.
Man is one
Not
of
even
the
sure, yeah.
son.
All right, so
But I also win that competition because I set more feet in this canyon than all of
yeah.
I don't have feet, so you've got me there.
So yeah, like I said, it well, now you were pretty much driving all day, so you dig down a little bit just until you can get to a metal surface, and so after a while, yeah, you use the exosuit, digging abilities and all that, and she tells you, the doctor, she tells you, wait, stop digging, stand aside. She comes up there with with the little trowel and the more precise tools, clears away some more sand and grit and whatever, and eventually reveals a sheet of metal buried under all this, and you can see some alien writing on it.
My language skills do I recognize it?
I believe you speak Iconot, don't you?
Double check. Yes, I do.
So, as I said, you guys uncover this thing, and it's got mysterious alien writing on it that none of the rest of you can recognize. Even your translator programs have trouble with it. They're like, sorry, we're drawing a blank.
And I say,
Like, ooh, what could it mean? And you come up to it, and you look at it, and you're like, it says, not a step.
Sorry, guys. Trying to take the mystery out of everything, but there you go.
But it is definitely in the Iconot language, though. So there you go.
And I have a picture. For posterity.
Mm-hmm. Well, remember, your symbiotic computers and all that kind of stuff, they can take video. So literally, you take pictures with your eyes.
I'm taking the video out of it. I still picture to help, study it and look at it later.
No, because you've got all that. You've got cameras and all that stuff in your various scientific kits and what have you. I mean, like, hell, we all carry around cameras on our phones nowadays.
Yeah.
I mean, we're back-ass with primitives compared to these people, so. So after that is like, all right, so it's been a long day, but we know we're in the right place. That is definitely Iconot, and that seems like a spaceship haul, all right. So you guys settle down to make camp, and again, since there is no light pollution around here, the night sky is pretty impressive, actually.
Yeah, I'm instructing all my AI to just record everything for posterity for further study.
Remember, you guys are out in the rimward frontier, so you're kind of close, relatively close to the edge of the galaxy at this point. So the sky is a magnificent pure black with just the band of the Milky Way is, just amazing.
The sun went down.
Wait a minute, we're in our own
Stars
galaxy?
coming out. I turn on the floodlights.
Yep. What? What?
Let's get dark out. We gotta stay to work.
I didn't think we were in our Milky Way. We're not in our own galaxy still, are we?
Yeah.
Oh.
This is all the Milky Way galaxy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, Earth is here. There's a human.
Well, it's just, I'm a living tree, but my planet's not in this galaxy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, the whole campaign only covers about 25% of the Milky Way galaxy.
Okay, I'm missing.
A galaxy's a big ass place.
Well, yeah, there's that. There is
Space
that.
Tree Galaxy is big.
Yeah. Yeah, way bigger. You might think it's a fair walk down to the corner chemist, but that's peanuts compared to space.
Like I said, I misunderstood.
Yeah.
I thought we was way out in the back.
No. Well, you are in kind of the boonies of the Milky Way. Yeah, you are. Okay, so like I was saying before, we're going to try this interlude thing. Now, the way this works is everybody's going to draw a card. And depending on the card you draw, you have to tell the rest of the group a little something like a story from your character's point of view. Let's see. Okay, so the suit determines the general topic. Each entry requires the player to tell a story in the voice of the character. The tale should be substantial enough to take a few minutes and may draw other characters' participation as well. Next time the game master is appropriate, yada yada yada. Okay, so if you can pass, but if you do this, you get an extra benefit. So anybody want to try to go for an interlude? So just draw a card.
Draw a card.
So you got hearts. Which
Can one
means
more than one of
you
us
have to
do it?
tell a story of love. Speak fondly of the character's greatest love, lost, found, or waiting for them back home. Whatever is their name, where do they live, why is the traveler not with them now? Kind of a tricky one for a Drax. That's kind of a trick.
So, I remember my greatest love. I had to leave her back home. I'd seen her. I wanted her so bad. It just took forever. But, these things, good things come to those who wait. Eventually, after saving up all my money, I was able to buy my first lockpick kit set, But it's not exactly the best. You can't break into modern locks. It works on tumblers, It's just old-fashioned. Old-fashioned girl. I love my old-fashioned.
Your first love, your first lockpick set when you were just a wee thing.
When I was just a wee little cockroach.
Alright, considering Drax don't really form romantic relationships, I'll give you that one. Do I have any more things on me? Oh, here. Big fat thing.
You earned that one, right?
Alright, anybody else want to give it a shot?
I'll try.
Alright, draw a card.
Spades.
Spades. Victory. Tell the group about a great victory or personal triumph in your adventurer's past. How did it affect you afterwards? Was there a reward?
I bought this lockpick set.
These are always going to be about your lockpicks.
I remember graduating. It was a very honored time for my species, gaining knowledge. After all, we are long-lived, and that is our raison d'etre, to gather new knowledge. And it was even more important for me because of my family. We are not an educated lot, my family, although we are long-lived. I was the first to go to school. Boy, they just love my story.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm right here. I'm listening.
And I remember the eldest tree in my family coming to me saying how proud she was that I had moved the family forward. And all I could think of was, I'm finally getting off this.
Later, losers! Yeah, uneducated.
You love it. You're the first one to graduate this family. Bye, bitches!
Yeah.
Later!
I'm a big old fat Benny. I'm a big old...
I'm going away from all the foreign fungi I know, and I finally get to see something.
Yeah, that was your reward, getting the hell off that planet.
Exactly.
Alright, so Mel, you want to try this?
Huh? What?
You want to try this?
Try what?
You want
An interlude?
Pick a card.
Would you like to
Pick a
have
card.
an interlude with us?
Tell us a story about your character's past.
I
You know,
don't
her-
know
Because
that
I
my
already knew I
character
was
wants
smarter
to say
than everybody
anything.
else there. I needed to get out and see things.
Her cousin's not so bad. He's a fun guy.
Aww.
Oh, hearts.
Hearts.
Love.
Something about love.
It says something about your character's first and second and third.
I can tell you, but I'd have to kill you, right?
Like, no, there's nothing to say about that. Like, it was fucked up and bullshit and moving along.
Alright. That's not worth a
Sorry.
penny. That's not worth...
Don't have anything deep to say.
Well, you could like do like his route. So your first love was your first gun.
Her first
Oh,
love,
Riviera.
her first love when she stepped into the freaking cockpit of that ship.
Something like that.
I thought I had known love before.
Ooh, look at this console.
Well, our days are not taking you seriously. They're certainly coming to a middle.
Yeah.
That's the point, even then.
All right, so you guys, like I said, you got your spotter drones out doing their rounds. Hell, by this point, you've probably even set your explorer swarm bots to kind of make a survey of the canyon.
Oh, of course.
That's probably how you figured out that this was actually an ancient impact site.
You're welcome.
I have my own.
She has her own.
I'm not relying on you.
She owns a swarm bot colony, so.
Like I said, I'm
It's a
smarter than
spotter
everybody else in my world. I'm definitely smarter than you. Like, I want to count on you for something.
Well, I'm more attractive than you.
You're more what?
I'm more
Prettier.
attractive. I'm prettier. I got more legs.
I'm darn
Well,
people
that's
like you.
completely subjective because there's still a part of my group that wants to connect to your head. Just saying. You're a cockroach.
Silly, you have your security lockpicking skill and all that, right?
Yeah.
So roll that for me.
You got the right character sheet, right? It's not metal sheet, is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think he has a security lockpicking.
Yeah, it's whatever. It's just how good your security systems.
Not very. Well, I don't know this system.
You're just learning, so. Nah, that's a fail.
I can
You
add
need
them
at
up.
least a 4.
I had him up there for.
Yeah. All right, so.
It's a lock.
All right, well, I'm going to say that for story's sake, something still happens. You're just not getting a real good read on it. Okay, so. Okay, you missed it, but it was recorded. So Cheetoe's napping under the sink or something, and later on he wakes up and he sees that there's a new entry from one of the little fly floater drones, and it's actually got like a snippet of recording on it. So you go over, well, you access it, pops up in your augmented reality, and you see the long range, the high altitude one. About an hour or so ago in the middle of the night, it spotted a vehicle moving quickly nearby. You aren't getting a good look at it, you just see light, basically, but it's moving in a good clip, and it's probably pretty small. It might be like either a small grab car or hover bike or something like that. But it moves at a pretty good clip. Does kind of a wide, turns a kind of a wide arch near you guys' camp, and gets to a spot down closer to the main canyon where you're pretty sure that whoever's on that thing can see into you guys' canyon, and then kind of does a U-E and heads back the way it came from.
We might be having company.
Dun, dun, dun.
I don't know if you want to backtrack a little bit and explore to the possible viewers at home, but you keep talking about our augmented reality and our AI. You did not explain that in the opening.
Oh, yeah. As I said, this is a homebrew sci-fi campaign. This is kind of late in the video to be explaining all this, but still, bear with us, folks. In medias res, okay? Yeah, so it's 500 years in the future, but Earth has only been known to the galaxy for about maybe 200 years or so, and they're not really important.
Bothered with.
Yeah, and like I said, Earth and humanity still isn't really important yet. Kind of a minor new species. So, but
they're big in Japan.
yes, which is on Earth conveniently.
You're big in Japan.
So one thing you have to bear in mind is, now, I know that probably in reality, it's going to be almost impossible for us to imagine what that far in the future is really going to be like. But for gaming purposes, we're taking a little bit of that and saying that, so nanotechnology and all that kind of stuff is so common. And artificial intelligence, it's like everywhere. But most of it's pretty quiet. Just kind of does its job and doesn't bother you.
It's like a really, it's like an actual working version of Google Glasses.
Yeah. But like, yeah, there's little non-volitional and AI and dedicated AI everywhere. Just because without it, this multi-species galactic community just wouldn't work. And in fact, there's this whole PC thing now where a true volitional artificial intelligence with a personality and its own desires and all that kind of stuff, they don't like being called artificial intelligence. They want to be called synthetic intelligence. Because, like, yeah, I may be synthetic, but there's nothing artificial about my intelligence.
If you could just, comment on the fact that what the augmented AI in our...
Yes, every sapient being in this age, they have nano in their bodies, guardian nano for diseases and all that kind of stuff. And it also forms a computer matrix that they've kind of blended with. So you can imagine it like having a really advanced smartphone just kind of built into your body. So everybody has augmented reality where they can see images projected into their field of vision from their head computers, and everybody has a little AI servant. And these AI servants can be mostly quiet, or you can give them a simple personality if you want. But again, they're non-volitional. They have no drive of their own other than just to do their job. And this is just ubiquitous. If you didn't have this in your head, you're some primitive from some planet that hasn't even developed a proper nanosphere yet. In fact, it's so far with the nanotechnology, the AI, and all that. You guys, if you ever find yourself on a planet without, nanosphere and AIs everywhere, it would make you like uncomfortable. You're like, oh wait, there's not a healthy nanosphere on this planet? Man, anything could happen.
Okay.
I mean, even this little frontier world. But yeah, there's nanites floating around the air. Not, a lot, but they're still around.
Okay. So that explains that.
So yeah, so everybody has like really advanced smartphones just kind of built into their heads.
Every intelligent species and the humans.
Yes, and the humans. they caught up.
Oh, they think they have. They're so small.
Yeah, their technology's a little behind the average, but not that much.
Gee, some things never change.
So like I said, you spotted that grav vehicle last night. Well, you saw the footage when the drone spotted that grav vehicle last night.
Because that was Johnny on the spot.
Yeah, you were.
Finding a place to take a nap.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful. She's gonna make you a spot. Is what she's gonna do.
We're gonna have company.
Something came out and spotted us, and the U-turn and headed back to town. Probably didn't even want.
Yeah, which way was it coming from? Was it coming from town?
You guys like 1,000 miles on that town now.
But it's still the same general direction, is it?
No, it was just
wandering.
It would say, okay, this thing was kind of like zipping along east to west through the around the canyons and all that, and then it spotted you guys' camp.
Floodlights.
It spotted you guys' camp and then turned around and went back east where it came from.
So it said go western, man. It's wagons east. Funny movie, actually.
What was that?
Wagons East. Funny movie.
I liked it.
It's one where John Candy died most of it, like 3/4 of the way from making it. They had to put a body double towards the end. The last part of filming.
Not remember that one. I bought Silverado the other day. She hadn't seen it.
I haven't seen it.
And it was only a couple bucks more to buy it than it was to rent it. I'm like, you know what?
Yeah, we're always showing each other movies and stuff because we came from such different backgrounds. Like, have you ever seen that? No.
Silverado's good. You need to see that one.
Next one I want to show him is an old semi-musical called Early Modern Lilly. Very cute show. It's Marshall Moore and oh god, I really should know her name even better. The Sound of Music lady.
Julie
Andrews, thank you. Yes, Julie Andrews and Mary Tyler Moore, and Carol Channing of all people too. It's set in the roaring 20s. It's very cute. Cheesy and full of trite tropes, but it's done very like tongue in cheek, knowing that that's what it is. And there's also asides to the camera, and they pop up like silent screen placards and words on it. The characters are thinking it's making fun of itself while it's being cheesy. It's aware of the cheesiness.
Yeah, Silverado's Kevin Kline, Kevin Costner.
Oh, okay.
It's got a cameo by John Cleese.
Somehow I was thinking like old John Wayne Western type thing.
It's a semi-serious comedy.
Kline does very well with that type of flow.
Yeah.
I can't really see Costner in that, but Kevin Kline does pretty well with that type of flow.
It's very young Kevin Costner, like early 20s Kevin Costner. Like before anybody knew who the hell Kevin Costner was.
Before he danced with
Alright, yeah. Well, way before.
So
The
next day,
Dream.
you guys
yeah.
you guys have your breakfast packet thingies and set out to
I
start.
stand in the sun.
Yeah. Well, you still eat a little.
Yeah, but I don't eat it yet.
Yeah. So you guys have your breakfast and then head back out to start uncovering more of the wreck. Dr. Mataulaellerala basically has you with the big power suit thingy, clearing more of the bulk earth around, and then once she does that, you and the doctor basically go in with your archaeological tools and start doing the fine work. You still haven't come across a hatch or anything, and she's really not wanting to cut through the hull if you can avoid it.
I can totally cut through the hull.
Um,
Can I cut through the hull? Totally cut through the hull.
I'm sure you can. Let's hold off on that.
Did I mention we're gonna have company?
Yes, make your security roll again.
Crap. 4. God, that's it.
Roll again because you got a 4.
I got a
Rolling dice, so you can get a 8. Roll again. 9, 10, 11. So that is a success and a raise. Like, did I mention we're going to have company? When one of the spotter drones gives you a ping, and you're like, in fact, we're going to have company in 15 minutes coming out of the east at, at 120 miles an hour. We're going to have company.
Did I mention we're gonna have company in like 15 minutes?
Coming from that direction.
Alright.
So you guys got 15 minutes. What are you doing? Somebody is definitely inbound your location. In fact, multiple somebodies.
Multiple somebody.
Yes.
Awesome.
Well, I say we set up all the security I thought to bring with us.
You want to set it up on top of the Mataulaellerala?
Yeah.
Okay.
And somebody gets to fire it.
She is the best shot, even though she's not specialized. She's still the best shot with it.
Yeah. That's you.
Imagine that.
Well, anybody can.
You want to take a position on the top of the Mataulaellerala with the gauze rifle?
Yes.
Wherever you want to put me.
Wherever you want to go.
There's still like, crates and other bullshit on top of that you can use as cover as well. As I said, you are not specialized with gauze rifles, but you're naturally a pretty good shot, so you shouldn't have too much trouble with it.
Well, I'm not really going to trust the cockroach to do it.
Well, you've handled gauze rifles before. They're fairly common.
I mostly bought it because if they get close enough, me and you can take them out with our pistols. But I got the gun so that we can kind of try and deter large groups of people from trying to get close enough where we have to take them out with the gun.
Right.
Well, I agree with other scientists that we should not cut into the ship. However, with immediate visitors on the horizon.
Maybe got C4. We can get in there quickly.
Will the swarm go under the sand to look at things? Can I get them to kind of...
They're like the size of bugs. They're like yay big. So, I mean, they can dig, but it's slow going.
They can't like roach.
Not quickly. They can. It's like a digging insect. It'll take them a while.
They can burrow inches.
Do I
Yeah.
do I have the equipment to like look for heat or like possible openings or whatever? Like
25,000 years. This thing's cold as everything else.
I mean, temperature differential between the inside and the outside, seeping through a crack that might be an opening.
No, you can't tell any temperature differential. Apparently, it's a pretty well insulated hull, so it's just all reads at the same temperature as the surroundings.
Well, what you can do is point a really sensitive radar at it, and I can throw a stick of dynamite that way. And then when it goes boom, the shockwaves will go through the ground and will bounce off. You know, and you can might be able to figure out where the cracks and openings are.
It's probably just one of your social media things.
Google.
Or we might have brought a ground penetrating radar with us.
The doctor, she has something like that, but apparently it's not getting through the hull of the ship is the problem.
Well, we need to get through the hull. We need to get through the sand to find a seam.
You guys have already uncovered a sizable chunk of this thing. You just haven't found a hatch yet.
So we need to find some kind of seam so we can, use tools to open at least along the seam.
You got 10 minutes before company shows up. You want to try and do that now?
Seam might be hard to find on a...
Okay, well, let's put it this way. We know where it is. We know how to get at it. We don't want somebody else finding it. I say we cover the pump.
Your best bet at this point would be to use the exosuit to try and throw dirt and crap on it. Even then, it'd be pretty obvious you guys were doing something to the landscape.
We can make a cover story, but if they can't actually see the object to know it's foreign and everything, at least we can dissuade them that way. Well, somebody's already seen us.
If we've got binoculars.
But again, they weren't like right up front to it, and it was a foreign language that other people don't speak because it's so old. We can try to put up a ruse and a farce at least.
I mean, they don't know what we...
If they can't get right up to it and look at it, if all they had was, from far away,
well, that's why I brought the
spying it.
To keep them from coming up close to looking at it. Because if we cover it up with dirt and they kill us, they're going to walk right up there and look at it anyway.
Okay, fine. You have your deterrent. I just want to make sure they don't get a, close up.
Get some dirt on it.
Woo! Yeah, that's good.
So you want to try that? Actually, it's going to be a tricky fit for you.
We're going to revolve it. Okay, I mean, my little mule thing can kick some dirt on it, and his little thing can blow some dirt on it. We'll make it a group effort. Everybody, cover the site. Cover the site.
I guess the doctor can jump in it. She's humanoid.
Well, it also probably has a remote uplink.
I mean, how many branches do I have?
This thing can't move by itself. You actually have to pilot it.
Like I said, how many branches do I have?
Yeah. 2. You're still kind of humanoidish.
Just pointing out that a remote control car doesn't move by itself. I'm still controlling.
Wait, controlling what?
If I had a remote control car, I'm still controlling. That's what I was saying. If it's a friggin' ding suit, it might have a little remote control.
It's basically like the lifter suit Ripley was driving in Aliens. It's an exosuit. It makes the wearer stronger and it's got tools. Yeah. So that's all it is.
Go gadget suit.
Yeah. It's not even decent armor, because it's all open.
Like I said, I'm just going to take my large, wide branches with all the vines and everything all over.
All right, so you
we cover the site.
So you, Cheetoe.
So it's not obvious.
You, Cheetoe, and the doctor try your best to cover up the site, while Lilly takes up position on top of the vehicle.
Cover the dig! Cover the dig!
Sure enough,
I kick back and open a book after we're done covering it. That's fine.
within a few minutes, you see
I totally get my vast
coming
array of
up
samples.
from the main valley, you see a little trail of dust as looks like a hover jeep being flanked by a hover bike comes up into your guys' little side canyon there. And in addition, you also spotted that there are 2 more hover bikes that are moving along the top of the canyon in your direction.
Okay, locals.
As they draw near to you, you see that the hover bike is a 2-seater, so it's got a driver and then somebody riding shotgun in the back seat, or actually I should say riding laser rifle in the back seat. And the hover jeep has, well, there's only 2 people in it, one driver and the other one is kind of standing in the seat.
Somebody thinks they're important.
And as they get closer, let me see, or you recognize the species. You can't make out guys up there, but of the 4 people, 2 in the jeep, 2 in the bike, headed towards you, you make them out as Kithag. Now,
Not Kithag.
yes, the Kithag. Oh, yeah.
I'm smarter than them too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm more cockroach shaped from there.
Now, the Kithag they're a known race. They've been around for a while, but they've never quite gotten their act together to be one of the big, top, important species, governments, whatever in the galaxy.
Okay, I reiterate what I said. The person that's standing in the seat thinks he's someone important.
The Kithag homeworlds are basically, they have a hard time. Like they love going on about freedom and liberty and all that, but most of their governments end up with president for life types.
Take out the leader, the rest of them will stop spawning.
Well, like I said, their most common.
I gotta take out the Mandalore leader.
Like a lot of times, the way their most common method of changing leadership is to have another coup. So
the one standing up thinks he's important. Take out the leader, the rest will start squabbling.
However,
so we know how to defeat these guys already. Thank you, Adam.
After thousands, we'll tell you this though. After thousands of years, they've gotten really good at how to have coups without causing too much destruction. Life just carries on. Yeah. So it's like they've done it so much. It's kind of, they got used to it. And they know how to deal with it now. They are known for being a bit impulsive. They're not any dumber than anybody else. They are humanoid. Most people are dumber than you.
And I know this.
They are humanoid. They are known for being a bit impulsive and occasionally violent. And they do tend to gravitate towards the more lawless areas of the galaxy.
And we are shocked and amazed to find them in the Badlands of a backwater hole like this.
So the one standing
Totally.
in the passenger seat of the hover jeep is a Kithag female holding a gauze shotgun with an Ambrat leather duster. And in fact, pass it around. That is actually her. That's what she looks like.
I remember this picture.
Mm-hmm.
I think I actually saw your drawing part of it.
Yeah.
Can I show the audience?
Oh, sure. If it shows up on the camera.
Kind of, sort of. Not really
See
the
link
whole.
below.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't actually have that
Basi-
picture with me, so I had to look it up on my phone.
Basically, the body is out there, but it's got hands and feet and a head on the camera.
Yeah. Like I said, they're humanoid, but they have this kind of it's like this bone pattern around
Severe
their
brow.
eyes and nose.
I don't see that.
That almost makes it look like they're wearing like a domino mask just all the time.
There's a truck.
They don't seem that dangerous.
Species
They
very
point their gun in the
similar to
wrong
that.
direction.
Yeah.
There's a truck species very similar to that.
Well, yeah, it's just a prosthetic on the face, basically. But so yeah, like I said, they're mostly humanoid, but with that kind of domino mask bone thing on their face, pointy ears and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, they come rolling up and stop within, let's say, a comfortable pistol distance of you guys. Yeah, like medium range for pistols or so. And the one standing, who, as I said, has the nicest clothes and the nicest gun, she waves at you guys. And she's like, "Good morning!"
Hey there, hi there, ho there.
Sorry, we saw that you people were kind of in our little sphere of influence here, so we thought we would drop by and say good morning and hello.
Good morning and hello.
What was that race called again?
Kithag.
Wait. You're Kithag, aren't you?
Born and raised.
See, I was always told they were assholes. You guys are saying these guys are assholes that were rolling up on us. It doesn't seem so bad. They're just saying hi.
Boy, you really just are.
She appears to take this in stride from you. Apparently, you're not the first Drax she's met.
You're just soft spots, aren't you?
Can't help it. He has a big mouth.
Drax, even. He's big mouth for a Drax, and the Drax themselves as a species have a reputation for being kind of mouthy jerks and violent.
You really are.
Cockroaches.
Can I take a branch and just.
Throw an acorn at it.
What did I say now?
You make acorns? No,
That's kind of.
I carry
Hang on, I'm just gonna take one of my long, spindly tendrils from being a weeping willow. Right on his little head.
What did I say now? Jesus Christ, you people talk to me and then I say something that gets smacked.
I'm happy it's my branch and not her boot.
If you two are done with your little performance,
Oh, right, yeah.
So I have to ask, we don't get many visitors or tourists out here. What goes on with you?
And we parade the cover story out.
The whole looking for mud paddle thing.
Looking for...
We parade the cover story out.
Originally we were here looking for some stupid freaking story about this goddamn monster thing that lives in the swamps, right? Are we near a swamp? Is this like a fucking swamp to you? No, we get like halfway out of here, and suddenly somebody tells us about this goddamn desert worm that makes some kind of spice that gets you high. So guess what? Now we're out here digging the fucking canyon, because this lady is fucking nuts. Sorry. I mean, this lady...
Dr. Metallic grimaces when she kind of takes it in stride.
This lady is paying us good money to bring her out here to dig in the dirt to help her find missing animals that nobody else believes in. So that's all right.
Okay, unfortunately, you don't have a persuasion skill.
Yep.
So you're going to have to default that one.
Yep.
So it's D4 and your wild die, of course, but they're -2 because you don't actually have them in will. Oh, for exploding dice.
I got
You got a
nothing
2.
but 2.
If you want to try to Benny that,
I'm going to use the big one.
use the big Benny.
So I can get it out of the way. I need to go real.
Yeah, you reroll the whole thing.
All my
yeah.
dice, right?
Yeah, both of them.
Oh.
Yep.
Like the D12, right?
If you miss, I've got another story to tell.
I got a 4.
You got a 2. You're still in
I got a nothing and a 2.
Yeah.
I
So,
get
yeah.
Okay, so
She either doesn't believe you or doesn't care, basically.
And so I kind of breeze forward with my persuasion skill,
Sitting on a bus.
and I speak about, yes, how I did take up this other doctor's offer, but I'm here to study the native flora, fauna, whatnot, and so on and so forth, because That is what I do. I'm
Okay.
a scientist, and no one has yet studied this lonely rock. And as someone looking for gaining of knowledge, and of course the prestige of being the one to discover things and smarter than everybody else.
Roll your persuasion skill. 'Cause she is literally like, getting bored now. Getting bored.
That's kind of the idea.
Yeah, you're trying to bore her.
Persuasion's D6.
Nerds.
I'm tripping. I'm smarter than everybody else, and I am gaining the knowledge, and I'm making a name for myself as I'm going off world and.
Blah blah, words. You got a 4. That is a basic success. Okay, so she kind of buys the fact that you're you're obviously an egghead. You're an egghead here doing some
I've
scientific
already
bullshit.
said at least half a dozen times that I'm smarter than everybody else here. I mean,
Yeah. No, she buys that you're some egghead scientist explorer survey thingy.
I hold up samples that I've taken so
Yes.
far in all my branches, all of them.
Yeah, and she's just kind of like, oh, that is very fascinating. Unfortunately means nothing to me.
Good, that means you
I'm
can leave
still
us alone
sitting
so
on a
I
bus.
can do my work.
Well, we will be happy to leave your little crew alone to carry about your strange business. But there is a small matter to settle first.
If I was a human, I'd be doing this.
You see, this is our backyard, and you are here digging it up and making your thingies with the lights and all that. So, you have to charge your rent.
I looked at the doctor, you're funding this expedition. And I go back to my samples.
Mataulaellerala, she's like,
I kind of whisper, as of doing business.
let me see.
Let me see your paperwork.
You want to leave this up to the doctor to settle the bill with these guys?
She's funding the expedition, I'm
My
not.
persuasion isn't that high.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not funding the expedition.
I mean, if you really want to, I could taunt him into attacking us. We wouldn't
Yeah, you
have
can
to
taunt
right
him.
then.
Yeah.
Like I
Oh,
said.
just keep sitting on top of the bus, whatever.
Yeah, they have noticed you sitting up there with that gauze rifle.
Oh,
Why I'm over
I'm
here
sure
and
they
it's up
probably
in my
noticed that
face.
the gun on my freaking carapace is pointing at them too.
Oh yeah.
Their guns are pointed at us, so.
That's only fair.
So, the doctor basically, she's like, kind of like, grimaces again, and finally speaks up, and she turns to the Kithag woman. She's like, all right, what will it take to make you and your people go away? At which point the Kithag woman, let's see, she's like, well, there are 4 of you, not counting the robots. So let's say 4,000 standard credits. Oh, and the pot back home has been getting a little thin. Let us have a look through your rations there. See if there's anything we like.
I don't.
Dr.
really-
Mataulaellerala turns to you guys. She's like, I can cover the 4,000 credits.
I'm
Up
still
to you
sitting
guys.
on
You
top of a
want to let
bus.
them root through our supplies.
I only need to eat like once every 3 days and not much of that, so I don't care.
I got your X.
I'm still on top of a bus. Fuck all y'all.
So you don't care if they root through the food?
So probably.
I don't care what happens either way. I'm still on top of a bus.
So probably a bit too loudly. Are we done lying to them yet? Are they going to go away anytime soon?
No. Duh. That's why I'm on top of the bus and you're down there
You
screaming.
get a willow vine again, right in the smart place there.
So at this point, the leader,
I can't. Dude, I rolled a 1.
yeah. At this point, the leader, she makes a she kind of turns to the guy riding shotgun on the hover bike.
I do not lie to them. I am looking for scientific facts.
And she, just kind of does a follow me. So she jumps down off the jeep. The guy riding razor rifle on the bike jumps down, and the two of them walk into your camp. Along with she also makes like that, and one of the hover bikes that's around the top swings out and comes down to the canyon floor. Let's see. I am actually going to let her do an investigation check.
She probably has a clue.
Huh?
She probably got a pretty good clue.
Yeah, I might give her a modifier.
Yeah, I told you guys. His whole thing is he can't keep a secret.
Well, she didn't roll very well. She just got a basic success. So, but she does kind of look around, and she's like, she looks around. She notices the frickin' exosuit with all the digging equipment tools on it. Notices the ground's been all churned up in this one area. And sees how you guys have got all your toolkits and everything set out, and your generators and your camp and all that. He's like, kind of turns at the doctor. He's like, "What are you digging for?"
One of my specialities is archaeology. I told you I was here.
You never mentioned archaeology to them before.
No, but I told you I was here for research to study the native land. I'm digging to see if there might be anything of archaeological significance to look at.
So, is there?
You came a bit early. We haven't found anything yet. You stopped us.
Seems to be a pretty precise digging pattern over there.
I'm methodical. I'm a scientist. Of course there's a pattern, fool.
Apparently this one's never seen an archaeologist dig before. Layer by layer by layer
motions
by
again.
centimeter.
Guy with
Oh my god.
Guy with the razor rifle walks over and he starts kicking aside some of the dirt, and his foot hits the metal of the hull. He's like, "There's definitely something down there, Mom."
It
Yeah,
has
you're
to be
dumbass.
done by degrees. It has to be.
Mom.
Ma'am.
Why the fuck did he call you Mom?
It has to
You
be.
look old enough to be his mom.
It has to be reported, classified.
Actually, I am his mother. Actually.
We can't just kick and sniff the dirt.
Yes, well, you see, this is my point. Obviously, you guys are smart. Okay, I know smart people. I met plenty. So you're here for a purpose. You're digging in this, galaxy forsaken wasteland, and there is something big and metal down there that you have found. Now I am thinking to myself, probably valuable.
You're making a lot of assumptions.
Yes, well, it's certainly well so far.
Maybe you should be thinking, why is someone sitting on top of a van?
Yeah, you're covering them, they're covering you, everybody's got guns pointed at everybody.
Again, as a scientist, this has to be
Mom,
done
I got a question
in
for you.
and done by method.
Mom,
Because you kick something.
do you have a
doesn't
whole bunch of
mean-
connections to scientific museums, science-related bullshit?
Oh, no, but I do understand that a lot of that stuff is quite valuable.
To eggheads.
And if it's not,
I would know where the hell to sell half the crap they're talking to me about.
if it's not done
It ain't worth your trouble, what I'm trying to tell you. Because I know for goddamn sure it ain't worth mine.
If it's not done with due diligence and just method, it's not going to be worth the sand you piss in.
Giant fucking talking tree. You know how many naps I've taken?
Okay, that's actually a decent point. Roll persuasion again.
But, Jesus,
Yeah, the fact that you guys are making the point is like, we're the ones that know how to get this stuff.
Yeah,
you guys archaeologists, no, you're a freaking wasteland
if,
gang.
If you don't do it accurately and you don't record the data, it's not worth shit.
For basic success, you are making a good point, though.
Making a point that appeals to her.
Yes.
Because obviously, that's what she's interested in.
Like, she's like, okay, guys, you guys are the professional diggers here. So she's like, okay, I tell you what. Keep the 4,000 credits. We're still gonna look through the meal packs, though. I swear, I've been eating the same thing for like a month. However, you cut us in on whatever you find. This is our territory, after all.
A share?
The doctor's like,
What does she consider a share?
you split it with them, basically.
That's very,
That's
for the scientists, that's very vague terminology.
Well, right now we're splitting it by 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah,
So she
could say a share for each
That's what I'm
person
saying.
in her party.
That's why I said.
Not just one share for the group.
That's why
I want to know specifics.
Yeah, she's got 8 people, like, right here. No,
Exactly.
no, she's got 4, 6. The other 2 were just single seaters.
Like I
got 6
said,
people right
exactly.
But
So does
that's
she mean
why I
a
said
share for
she
the
gets
group
a share.
or a share for each individual there?
It-
How is she trying to fleece us?
We split it 50-50. 50% for your people, 50% for my people.
And we're the ones doing all the work with all the knowledge.
Kill us now, you get nothing.
Because you don't know how to unearth whatever is here, if there's something of actual value here, without us.
Look, I'm not going to pretend that my people are any kind of a scientist or technical proficient workers or anything like that.
And we're
However,
not putting forth the maximum effort for you to reap 50% of the benefits.
yeah. However, as I said, this is our territory. We know it
So
very
you
well.
say, and we only
We
have your
know-
word to go for it.
We know the territory. We know not just this little collection of valleys and canyons and stuff. We know the planet. We know the society, if you will. We can make things very smooth for your crew if you make us happy, or we can make things very, very rough.
An opportunistic drone happened to come upon us. Does not necessarily mean you know the territory. It just means something possibly went a little farther out than usual. And we happen to be here.
Well, fine. Don't take my word. See how rough we can make things. See,
So, Mom.
ma'am.
So I said, Mom. So here's the thing. Scientific knowledge, though valuable, does that count? Because to me, it don't mean shit. They're giving me actual money. But when you're talking split 50-50, when you're talking split 30-70, now, when you're 30%, do you want to include scientific knowledge?
I don't care about whatever you kind of papers you publish or whatever your other little scientific friends out there in the galaxy. That's all whatever.
That's I'm saying.
I'm talking about the actual, if there's any valuable artifact thingies in there, it's like we are splitting that.
We can do that. 25-75. We got no problem.
Valuable does not necessarily, as far as archaeology
down
and
to
science
27?
goes, does not
It's
necessarily
negotiation.
mean monetary. Valuable is in the information itself. And if you don't want the information,
26.
you don't want the value.
No higher. Go ahead.
You keep going down. You keep going. You know that, right? You're not that bad at math. You got your little head computer thing, right? You got
Yeah, but you haven't offered, like, I say 20.
I'm saying 50-50. You can beat me on a persuasion roll. Well, maybe.
The value is in the information. That's what the value is.
Try.
And you don't care about the information.
No, like literally, these guys are like, hey, archaeological artifacts. Those are worth money.
Yeah.
She wants. Right now, here's the thing. Dr. Metal wants the science. I just said the science. Then you don't care. I just got the science completely off the table.
Yeah, she, ma'am, she just basically she wants the credit value of any artifacts you guys pull out of there.
Which
50%.
helps pay for the expedition. On the other hand, if we get in there and there's any artifacts worth getting, we can call the Alliance.
That is a fair point. That is a fair point to consider.
Because once we get in there and say, hey, this is an actual archaeological dig, it's no longer the backwater fucking podunk police's job to make sure we're safe.
Yeah,
the government
how long
should call
does it take
the
Alliance to
cavalry.
get out here? Remember, you guys are in the boondocks.
Oh, I know.
You-
But we can't take it out of here. We can't sell it.
Without their
anytime soon
okay.
either way.
Yeah, okay. Something that's of this.
At this point though, if this is her backyard, if this is her territory,
So she says.
if all we gotta do is pay her to protect us,
The problem
She's
is,
literally offering. She is going to become a new partner in the venture. That's what she's saying.
well, what does she bring to the table other than not being a nuisance?
The fact that her and her little clan here really do know the territory. They know people. They know society. They can smooth things out, and they can do like manual labor and protection.
yeah, that's my thing. And be fodder. help us
The
go in.
problem with their manual labor, though, is that they don't know the precise way to go about an archaeological dig. They're clumsy. They're ham-fisted. I don't want them near this.
They can move dirt. They can move dirt.
And
And possibly break
we-
things while doing
we
it.
don't know what killed off this species. And we're about to go into one of their ships, which hasn't been touched for 25,000 years. And you suck using Gauss shotgun. Guess who I would like to have beside me? Somebody who is really good with a Gauss shotgun, and I don't care if they fucking die.
Again, good point. But is it behind-minded scientist?
Dr. Mataulaellerala is like,
I'm-
she's willing to cut him in if you guys are.
I want to talk.
She doesn't like it, obviously.
I want to talk them down to the 50%. I offered her 20, and she didn't take it.
I said,
Okay, try persuasion again.
No, I'm not saying I want to talk her down. I'm trying to persuade the other people around.
I cannot teach these ham-fisted backworld full of themselves peons how to correctly proceed with an archaeological dig.
We get it. You can see the tree.
However, if it will shut them up and let me get to my science, and the funder of the expedition is willing to forego the payment,
How good is Dr. Metal at persuading people? He persuaded our asses to come on here.
I don't care really about the money. I'm in it for the science. So since the science is off the table,
Yeah.
and the person actually spending the money is willing to pay the money, I just want them hands off the dig.
That's fine. So yeah, they won't touch the dig if you don't want them to. In fact, they're like, oh, we don't have to dig all dirt and shit. Cool. They're like,
Because they're
Guys, I'm gonna try and, since everybody else seems to be in agreement here, I want to get it down to 50%.
you want to try another persuasion
You
roll?
want to try and persuade.
However,
Alright.
I can try a persuasion roll saying that since we are the ones doing all the work, they should be willing to accept us.
Yeah, you're the one that's doing all the work on their territory. So it's really, it's like they're allowing you.
That's just a coincidence. That's not in their favor.
Yeah.
Even worse. Oh, you're lucky you're getting 50%.
Like I said, yes, it's their territory. But
Look, I'm just saying, you don't
that-
deserve 50%.
being
We're
on
the
their
ones that are
territory
trying
does
to
not
do all
take
the work.
any
I think we
skill.
should get like 75% at least. But
doing all the work
No,
does
wait.
not take
What
any
did I say?
skill on their part. I'm gonna try my persuasion and say, you know,
Trying to argue down their price.
we're doing all the work. They should not get half the credit. 5.
Yeah, 5.
I'm willing to give them a token since it is their
Shit, I
land.
offered them 20%.
But I'm not willing to.
I offered him a full share to begin with, and then she said 50%. At this point, I'm thinking of shooting her. But
I don't want it to break down to that.
and it's literally, you know, she could say, I want 50%. And then, like I said, you can kill us now and get nothing. I offer you 20, you say 50, I say let's get into a gunfight. I guess, how smart is Mom?
She doesn't seem dumb. She
Doesn't seem intelligent by my standards. But
like I
then
said, Kithag, they're just as smart as everybody else. They're
not
just.
me. Oof.
So, by the way, it is Mam Vazandie, and this is the Vazandies.
Good day.
It's like, okay, I tell you what, okay, I cut you all a good deal. You'll not get any better on this planet, I tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
The split artifact, 50-50. Price artifact, 50-50. Okay? You do whatever you want with your scientific papers and studies and all that. That's all good. Yeah, I'm not going to even try tracking that. We split 50-50, but I am now partner in this venture. In addition, I make things extra double smooth for you guys out here as babes in the wilderness that you are. We give security, we give provisions. You want us to move dirt away from the technical thingy, we do that. But we are now partners.
I look at the doctor and raise a limb like an eyebrow.
Actually, the doctor, she looks at that and she's kind of like, if they're really on our side, might help things.
So, partner, let's say hypothetically, we were about to uncover something that might be dangerous. Does the partnership extend to helping me protect the eggheads?
Well, got to protect our investments, don't we? Any volunteers? You know, their crew's pretty rough looking. So they're like, not afraid. Not afraid.
I look around and, you know, raise a small branch like an eyebrow, kind of questioning my little band here, like, what do we say?
Like, I doubt there's like one of the kind of uglier guys in our crew. He's like, I doubt there's anything on this planet that really intimidate me. I'm not afraid. If it means we get a share of whatever we find, yeah, I'll put the blaster bolt right through eye on anything you say.
I know. You gotta say? She falls.
So
I don't care.
I extend the
I
willow olive branch for a shake.
If the Miss Moneybags, because we still gotta pay back her
Yeah, her investors. Yeah.
If she thinks we're gonna make enough money to pay back her investors,
Like I
along
said,
with splitting it with this crew.
extended
She's like,
the willow
she actually-
olive branch for a little shake, and
Yeah, she's willing to go along with this. So you offer a branch to Mam Vazandie?
yep, I offer a branch.
Partners!
Alright,
Flap, flap, flap.
Alright. Kiss Vanga. Find someplace comfortable.
I kick up.
Hi, Mom.
Alright, partner, I kick off the dirt. We're about to enter a 25,000-year-old spaceship that killed all of its crew. We don't know why.
Like, all the Kithag just kind of stop, look at you, say, what? Say, what? In fact,
And
Mam Vazandie comes up after you kick up the dirt. She looks at it. Is that Icona? Is that Icona? And she points at the writing.
you may be smarter than you first appear.
You've heard of the Mayans, right? It's like that. She's like, oh, ghosts of my grandmothers.
Thanks for joining us, because I did not want to go in there alone.
Just like Mam Vazandie, she actually kind of gets a little nervous look on her face, and this is the first time you've seen her crack. You know, because she has no problems facing down people with guns, apparently. But now she's like, oh boy.
Those species long past the stink spook her a little bit, do they?
And she looks again at her boys, and is like, you all still good with these, right? And like the one guy that was like blaster bolt through the eyes and all that, he was like, there's no such thing as ghosts, right, Mom? Yes, no such thing as ghosts. Okay, we're good. Okay.
Honestly, dude, I got a fucking egghead tree who can't shoot for the shit ass my backup. Thank you, Adam.
But I can argue better than you.
Alright, so yeah, you guys have to, like I said, you have partners you have to split the spoils with again, but you have partners to split the spoils with again who know how to use guns.
So as the drones go, so they're no longer aiming at the backs of the heads of the two over here.
Those drones aren't armed. So,
Yeah,
but they don't know.
I now that the distraction has been settled, I put my attention back to the science at hand.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
So
though,
she, like I said, Mam Vazandie, she has a couple of her boys and a couple of the vehicles stay with them, but she, the two-seater, the two-seater bike, she tells them, to head back to where they came from.
Well, basically,
Tell the rest of the family.
we're going to make a pile of dirt over here. You're going to take that pile of dirt over there.
Those drones don't have to be armed if you're shooting at me and I hit you in the back of the head with it.
Yeah, you get that thing going along at a good clip. Pong!
When you're on the top of a cliff. Chances are I'm going to win that one.
But yeah, you do notice the Vazandie Gang here, mostly Kithags. There might be one or two other species in there. And looks like they're wearing kind of like bioclass armor. And mostly a collection of, your typical weapons, blaster pistols, razor pistols, a few rifles. Mam obviously has her shotgun, so
Since it looks like
as
we
well as a
are
pistol and knife.
losing a member of the party, do we want to pause here until next session?
Yeah, we'll at least pause here for a smoke break, and then we'll see what happens.
Quickly.
So, going to pause.
Quickly before
What?
we pause, I offer Mam some of the food first.
I don't want it. I only need to eat a little tiny bit every 3 days. Follow my
You know what?
full rations.
You remember, you guys are on a ranching planet, right? Yeah. So, Mom brought all over the place. Mom brought steak, sausages, blah, 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 all that. You give her some of her meal packets, which are mostly vegetarian, right? Mam Vazandie's like, what was up? And she's like, oh, thank goodness, I'm getting so sick of steak. I haven't had anything green in a while except for a damn algae. I haven't had anything.
Tell you what, man, I can't eat her stuff. You go ahead and have as much of it as you want.
Save me one packet for every 3 days.
Tell you what, we celebrate partnership, we make one feast. And she actually goes back to the hover jeep and pulls out like a satchel, slaps it down, pops it open, and it's actually it's like a cooking kit, but there's like a portable spice rack and everything in it. She's like, we make chili. Take 5 of these packets, throw them in the pot. I make a chili. Yes. Hit the pause. Oh, hello again. All right. People are falling asleep, so we're calling it a night. And we might pick this up again if I actually do publish this. And hopefully next time we'll actually get into some encounters, and I will remember to bring the actual figures rather than drawing these things. All right. Bye-bye.